The pride of home ownership. It's all about learning new skills and learning how to fix things, or paying somebody else to fix them for you. In today's video, we have a threshold, and when we look at it closely, you can see that there is a gap along the top side. Well, one of the purposes of the threshold is actually to bridge that gap so it's seamless as we make a transition from one side of the room to the other, especially when there are different materials. So what I need to do is get a threshold that's slightly wider that I have to cut to this length. So stick around as we tackle this project. At the local big box store, I found this threshold. It's by MD. It's hardwood, it's low profile, so it's 3/4 of an inch thick. As always, we should check our measurements. We have 1 inch and 2/15, right? But when we close this door, our clearance drops down below an inch to just under 3/4 of an inch, and it drops even lower at this end, which means that our threshold, which is 3/4 of an inch tall, is not going to work. Now what? As I see it, I have two choices. I can go back to the big box store and look for a threshold that's no higher than 1/2 inch and prep it and then install it, or perhaps the solution is already staring me in the face. We recall that there's this gap here that we need to bridge with the threshold, but in looking over here, this threshold has been notched to go around this. So if I remove the threshold, I can notch a little bit more so that I can make up that difference right here, and the threshold can overlap this board while still having enough threshold on this side so that the ends of this ceramic floor aren't exposed. But to do that, we'll first have to remove the board without breaking it. Tools that I think I'm going to need for this project are some plastic trim tools. These will prevent the wood from being damaged or the floor. We also got a nail puller as a last resort, a Phillips screwdriver that's going to remove this piece and get this out of the way. Be careful when you remove stuff that's been painted, because sometimes it'll break off and take a big chunk of the paint. This one looks like it's been removed before in the past, so no problem. We come in with our trim tool looking for a gap that we can get under, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to pry up wherever there's a brad, because we want to lift that out, because if your brads are further apart and you're trying to lift up in the middle, then you risk splitting the board. So we want to get it where the brad is holding it. So go to that location and try lifting up. What I'm trying to do here is not get one end of the board loose and free, but trying to loosen the whole board. So once I got underneath there, I just kept on prying with my other trim tool and loosening this up. And I will continue doing that until this side is loosened up. Then I'll get a little further into the board and do the same. And if I have to, I will work it from the other side. As you can see, we've lifted the threshold about 1/2 inch in the center. And as with all home projects, there's always a surprise. And in our case, the surprise is that this ceramic board ends, and then there's a bead of grout, and then there's a gap. And it's just on the other side of where this board meets. So I have less than 1/4 inch that I can move this threshold, and it'll probably reveal the grout line that's going across, but it will close the gap. That's my hope. Another tip, if you're working with a pry bar or nail puller of some sort, is to get something underneath it so that you don't crack your tile, your ceramic, and it also spreads that energy out. So I'm using just another trim piece, but it could be a piece of wood, anything to get in there so that you're not directly pressing on the flooring material below. After slowly working with the pry tools, we get the threshold free. There are some nails still in it, so always be careful that you don't impale yourself. And you can see that we have a fairly big gap here, and for whatever reason, the people who did the flooring didn't close up this gap, and that probably is the fault of the people who put in the wood floor, as this ceramic floor came up to about the center of the threshold, and they I think just misjudged their material cut. Anyway, not for us to figure out the why, but now we just have to fix it. So next thing on our agenda is to get those nails out. Having zero success trying to get back out the brads, I'm just going to use a lineman's tool and remove as much of the brads as I can. With the brads removed, I mark just a thin little line of the wood that I want to shave off of here, and then I'm going to use a multi-tool to just cut that little bit out. Before I put my threshold in, I dropped in some scrap wood. These just happen to be paint stirrers because I wanted to build up the material a little bit, because I only have 2-inch brads that I can use on this wood. So this is going to help me because I'm going to secure these to the floor below. And then when I go in with the brads through the threshold, I should hit some wood somewhere, and hopefully that'll make for a more secure floor. Okay, with our paint sticks or scrap wood in place, it is time to drop in our threshold. I'm just going to take my gloves off so I can get a better feel for this. And there is no gap on either side. I'm making sure that the threshold is as far forward as it will go. And now I'm going to get my brad gun, and I'm going to go in the areas where there have been nails before, not exactly over them, but very close to them, as I figure maybe the professionals knew what they were doing when they at least did that part of the job. Okay, that brad's protruding a little bit. Fortunately, I have my little ball peen hammer. That's what the ball's for, just getting it below the surface. So then now I see that when I come back down, I need to raise this threshold a little to get over that lip, because it's very, very, very close. So I think my next brad's going to be on this side to secure and prevent any movement. And that went in nicely. And then we're going to put another one here. That went in nicely. So I didn't have to make any adjustments to my gun. That one's protruding a little bit, but we'll take care of it with a ball peen hammer. And I'll show you what it looks like Going in for our close-up on the right side, you'll recall that there was a huge gap here, and we're looking over the edge, and it is now gone. We do not see the grout line on this side, but it's literally just right on the other side of that edge. And the threshold is good all around, so no need to use the board that we bought that goes back to the big box store. We did use some tools, ear protection, eye protection, some trim tools, wire cutters for the brads that we had to cut, ball peen hammer to pound down a few of those brads, the Phillips screwdriver to help us with the little plastic trims there. What else? Goggles, of course, our nail gun. We're using 2-inch brads that we shot into that, and some scrap wood to fill in the gap that the remodelers left for us. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us the thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you for so much for watching.